Well, it's time to pick a side. Who are you with? Magneto? Xavier? Mutants? Humans? The Sentinels? It's all kicking off today. Good lord, episode 9. Just finished watching it. My god. I've said my god, or shit, or well, fuck, a lot in the last few episodes. And, I have to wait another week. And I think I said this a week ago, 2 weeks ago, in fact, that I am not ready to wait another week for the end of this. Let's roll the titles. We'll discuss it. We'll cry. And then we'll wait. Okay. I'm not sure where to start. I'm really not. This was another one of those things where they crammed a whole movie's worth of content into a little more than half an hour. But let's start as close to the beginning as we can, I guess. All is not well at home. They have this beautiful cut between Xavier and Magneto. Magneto is yoinking rock out of the world and shoving it slowly into orbit to create his space station safe from humanity, and Xavier is waking up in bed, reaching for his wheelchair and his suit and tie, and looking at his old hover chair and realizing that there's a beam through it and it's ruined. And it gives you this lovely poignant sort of comparison between the two. They're going to this effort of making Magneto look like a god and Xavier look like a frail old man, which we both know he is not. But it sets the scene quite quickly. We very quickly get Storm back, who rescues Sunspot and Jubilee from a mob before they have to do any damage. We get Forge in his funky outfit, which is great, back in an X costume. And we get the exposition that it's not that he's just blacked out the world, he's utterly fucked Earth's magnetic field. Now, that's really bad, because that's the thing that keeps the atmosphere there. That's the thing that stops the sun from cooking everything, and with no atmosphere to keep the pressure, we suddenly have no oceans and no oxygen, and everybody dies. So this, as I said on the Facebook group, is very serious just from the initial giant EMP that he's done. But actually, this goes far deeper than that. We are talking the extinction of humanity within a day or two, given what he's done to the world. It needs to be undone. It needs to be sorted. And although Scott and Xavier aren't currently seeing eye to eye, and Scott does blame him for putting Magneto in charge, Xavier rightly says it wasn't Magneto's fault. He did not cause this situation. Genoshan and Bastion caused this situation. The man has been through a lot and has finally truly lost it with everyone. But we've got two problems then. So we've got Bastion on the world, back on Earth, who needs dealing with, because there's no chance Magneto is going to see reason while Bastion and his Prime Sentinels exist. But also, we cannot leave Magneto as a mutant overlord in his floating castle in orbit, because, well, everyone's going to die. So you've got to address both. So you split your X teams up, which is brilliant because it calls back to splits in the comics. But before that happens, Magneto comes for one last chat with Xavier, but he doesn't chat so much as he uses him as an example of everything that has gone wrong and why it is Xavier's fault. And in doing so, Sunspot and Rogue flip sides, because, well, Rogue was there on Genosha. She saw everything happen. She saw Gambit die. She is not for being nice. And we saw this earlier on with the way she went on a bit of a rampage in Bright Eyes. So that was not unexpected. And to be honest, neither was Sunspot, because his own mother shipped him off in a collar with Sentinels. So, yeah, I'm surprised more of the team didn't go. Honestly, I think, like, Scott could have been on the line. Cyclops could almost have gone over, but I think the conversation he had with Xavier, where he referred to Magneto as a true maniac, probably put paid to all of that. But so people have been gone. Teams are weaker. We've got to go 2 separate places. We've got to go into orbit, and we've got to go to, I think, the Galapagos Islands. But the mansion's destroyed, so they're at their reserve base with a load of old tech. Now they've got 2 jets, one space-worthy, one air-worthy, thanks to Shi'ar tech that would survive such an EMP. They don't have any of their current suits, so we get new outfits, which is great. Firstly, we get the wonderful scene where Scott hands Cable a blue outfit and mocks the Fox films, which was glorious because they were shit. But we get some real good classic costumes. We get Storm, obviously, is already in her classic costume that she got during her rebirth. Wolverine gets this wonderful yellow and browny red outfit from his run in Uncanny X-Men. I think it was about 1980 he got that costume. Jubilee's wearing the bodysuit she bought with her classic coat. Cyclops and Jean Grey have got their original costumes. It's a real cool lineup. Sort of harkens back to the dawn of the comics, and because they've gone backwards, I don't think that these are going to be permanent suits. I think this is just a case of this is what we had. But then the team go their separate ways, and good lord. So we're pulling together a lot here. I was right in the last one that this very quickly turned from being a Bastion problem to being a Magneto problem, with a little side order of Bastion. The two go hand in hand, but Magneto is the big bad, and Xavier's plan is to reason with him, and if not, get his helmet off, take control of his mind, take over his powers, and force him to do the right thing, which is brutal and invasive and a horrible thing to do to a mutant, but necessary because the world, I mean, even if you're going to exterminate humanity, don't get rid of the world. It's a nice place. It shows that Magneto truly has been pushed too far and is not thinking clearly. But yeah, so 2 separate teams, and we'll start on the ground with Bastion. Bastion is able to power, despite everything down, Bastion's internal systems can power Sentinels, which is really handy because otherwise it'd be really easy to take out. So he's got some classic Sentinels coming, and the team there is doing very well taking them out as things go. You get Morph, who transforms into Hulk, which is genius. I absolutely love it. And he even leads with a Morph Smash, which makes me happy. It makes me very, very happy. So great work there. And again, awesome combat scenes, just beautifully animated. Having Morph and Cable and Jean Grey and Beast on the ground making their assault whilst Storm and Forge take the air is beautiful. And again, another example of Storm's raw power as she creates it's essentially a hurricane just over the island. It's absolutely glorious and very, very good. But one by one, for whatever reason, the team is dealt with. Storm and Forge both fall. Storm into the sea, not dead most likely. Forge crashing the jet. Looks like he's dead, but again, no body, probably okay. Then Bastion deals very quickly with the Morph Beast infiltration combo, trying to get the collar on his neck to turn his powers off, which is a shame. But once that's gone, things go from bad to worse. Jean Grey has been having this battle with Sinister, and it is an awesome, awesome fight, like really well matched, but she gets the upper hand in the end in a bowling alley, and the way she accelerates the bowling balls to supersonic speeds and just batters him and throws him through the back of the wall, it's It's beautifully done, absolutely beautiful. But then he resorts to his classic trick, and obviously he had access to baby Nathan, and in order to infect him, and as such has a little seed in his mind, and so we get Cable versus Jean Grey, and she's holding off no problem against his gun, and even just pulls it to pieces, and then he reveals that he has got world-class psychic power as well, because that stuff doesn't skip generations. And in a very similar scene to how Magneto supposedly died, a very similar scene to that, where she psychically links with Scott and tells him she loves him, before then seemingly getting completely overwhelmed by this wave of force and being killed. It was very similar crossover, and I wonder what the effect will be on Scott. I mean, the immediate effect on Scott was that things were going quite well up in space. They had managed desperately to get Magneto's helmet off, not without getting bloodied and bruised, but they'd managed it, and Xavier was in the process of shocking him. He's there, wrapped his energy all around him as things get done to his brain. But because the fact that fixing the world also fixes all the Prime Sentinels, and because Scott knew that things were so bad down there, he actually interrupts Xavier with a blast of his concussive beam and stops the process, which is terrible, because that allows the finale to happen, and oh my god. So Beau DeMayo gave us this wonderful hint where so look at the fatal attractions. This is your reading for this week's episode, and that is the run in the comics where it's basically this episode, but done over a longer form. But this is the point where Wolverine has his adamantium ripped from his body by Magneto, and it kind of, because we'd been given that hint, everyone was like, is it happening? And I honestly I did not realize we were at the end of the episode. But we get to this wonderful point where, because things have stopped, Magneto reasserts his authority. He rips his helmet from Wolverine's hand, who's been laying in the corner, bruised and battered, holding onto it. He shoves it onto Xavier's head. He slams Xavier into a wall and starts to slowly crush him. He takes everyone else and incapacitates them, but forgets about Wolverine. And as he's exerting this dominance, all of a sudden out of his chest just come Wolverine's claws covered in blood. And Wolverine has done what he said he would do, and has attempted to kill Magneto if they couldn't fix things. And it's just a moment of shock on Magneto's face, and you think, well, he's done for, because, you know, great big gaping hole. But no. It's then that he takes control of him and slams him back, and using the full extent of his power, unravels the adamantium from Wolverine's skeletal structure and rips it from his body. And that is the scene as it ends. That is it. It is done right there. There's no response. There's no chance to know what's going to happen. What we have right now is every single member of the X-Men is in deep shit. None quite so deep as Wolverine, who's having his innards ripped out of him. Now in the comics, Jean is on hand to keep him alive by using her powers to hold him together until his healing factor kicks in. But she's on Earth, and that's if she's not red mist at the moment because of the force of Cable's mind. Everyone is done. Wolverine can't do anything. Xavier is imprisoned. Scott, Jubilee, all taken care of. On the ground, Jean Grey vaporized, maybe? Who knows? But if not, certainly struggling against Cable. Cable currently under the control of Sinister, but otherwise hale and healthy. So hopefully an out there, maybe. There could be some twisty bit with that, I don't know. But yeah, that being Cable, we have Morph and Beast. No one quite knows what happened to Morph. He was caught trying to be sinister and trying to sneak in. We didn't see much more beyond that, but Beast is very much wrapped up in all of the nasty sort of circuitry kind of limbs that Bastion spews out when he needs. It's a real fucking mess. Forge crashing to Earth in a jet. Storm hitting the back, falling in the water. But, you know, worse things have happened to her in this series. I feel that she'll be fine. But no one is in a good way. No one at all is in a good condition. And it's just not acceptable. So, yeah, I don't know where we go from this. We're going to end, I assume, with Onslaught. And that'll be the cliffhanger for next episode. I don't know if they'll do it and have Onslaught as the fight. But we are going to need more people. We're going to need reinforcements. And we're going to need the Avengers. We're going to need Spider-Man. We're going to need every fucker that we saw get make a cameo in the last episode. Because really, things have gone too far. And without that, I don't see how we have a season 2. I have no idea. So, yeah. Please, share with me your theories. I would love to know, because right now it's an absolute mess. It is utterly glorious. Bodemeo said that of these final episodes and of episode 5, which is just that glorious Genosha episode, he suggested that episode 5 and episode 8 were 7 or 8 out of 10. Episode 9 is a solid 10 out of 10, and episode 10 was a nervous, teethy face emoji. And I don't know where they're going to go, because this was 10 out of 10. This was as good as it has been all series. It didn't have the earth-shattering impact of the sudden attack on Genosha, but what it did have was the just constant, awesome fights. The stakes have never ever been higher, and one by one, every bit of hope was taken out until at the very end of the episode, Wolverine is there, halfway through having his adamantium coating ripped from the insides of his body. So, yeah, absolute 10 out of 10. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. Share with me your theories. What do the comics say? I've an idea there, but I don't know what they're going to do in the show. I cannot wait to find out. So, until the next one, I hope we can last a week. Take care of yourselves. Watch it again. Find some interesting bits. Subscribe to the channel, please. Leave a like, share with your friends, hit that notification button, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.